Well, Matt, um, I hate to say it, but Santa is not going to be bringing you your most wanted game of the year anymore.
Ah, damn.
Light of Motirum has been delisted from
Oh,
Steam,
can't
and
believe it.
I know that
Oh,
was like your number one
it
wish
was my
list.
number one. Yes, my number one game. Yes.
Yeah. I'm so sorry to break the news to you, but it sounds like, for anyone who hasn't been following, Light of Motirum is a
A highly original, unique game. Really, really second to none, honestly. Except
yeah.
for the thing it was, highly inspired by, to the point where it looked like they were basically just ripping it off from
Yeah.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
Besides that one.
Yes. So Light of Materum is basically a knockoff of Horizon Zero Dawn, developed by Tencent, and they did it after asking Sony if they could make a version of Horizon Zero Dawn and license their IP, and Sony said no, and then they did it anyway.
Yeah.
And the trailer for the game is just, it's full on knockoff. You can't look at it and be like, I wonder where they got this idea from. It's just
Yeah.
blatant ripoff. Sony took him to court because there's not a lot of companies that are going to risk taking Tencent to court. They have money coming out their eyes and ears. It's just crazy. But I guess they settled, and it sounds like Sony won. They didn't do like the full, like, have it.
I don't know what I don't know how Sony could have lost if they're settling, right? Like, oh, we'll give
Yes.
you money for, like wasting your time kind of a thing, which does happen, I guess, in some ways, but
Yeah. I think part of the settlement was probably to like, because they settle it out of having like a judge rule on it, then it becomes less public, I guess, about
yeah.
exactly what transpired. So that
Yeah.
would have, imagine, benefited Tencent, and they probably requested that. But the game has been delisted from the stores. We don't officially know what's happening, like if it will go away forever or what. But this is pretty big news. This is good because there's just been the companies have been pushing basically IP ripoffs as far as they possibly can to see where the line is. And Tencent has found the line, and I hope that there's a little bit more pushback here because there just has been a real problem with blatant ripoffs of IPs and ideas in gaming for quite a while, to the point where you're just like, I get it. You want to make a game like that, but if you want to make a game like that, at least come up with your own visual design, And people are like, nah, I'm just going to take your game idea and your visual design and
The entire
everything.
thing.
And you're just like, it's too far, guys. It's too far. Like
Yeah.
we borrow ideas, we all get inspired by each other, and we use those and create new things, hopefully. But yeah, it is intellectual property law is it's gray, and Tencent pushed it too far. But I'm glad to see Sony win this one, and hopefully that'll teach them not to do it, because if Tencent can't publish this game, that's a lot of money
It's a lot of money. It's a
that
lot.
they
Yeah.
just
It's not
wasted
just the
on this
settlement, it's
gamble.
just the fact that now that they may not
Yeah.
be able to like make any money off of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they could have easily spent $50 to $100 million on this game, and
Yep.
then they're like, "Oh, we can't sell it now. Whoops, maybe we shouldn't rip off other games just blatantly." So hopefully that's enough of a wrist slap for this kind of stuff to stop happening. But it's also that sort of thing where it's like, if they published it in China, Sony might not have as much control there to like fight the intellectual property law over there, because it's just notoriously loose in China, where they're just like, good for you, you copied that game, like it made a ton of money. That's generally how they look at it over there. So anyway,
Way out of my wheelhouse. I do not know Chinese law, so I'll have to
yeah,
take your word on that.
you minored in it, but you forgot everything since.
Oh yes, yes, yeah, of course.
Yeah. Um, Gosh, we kind of gotta address one of the biggest stories in gaming right now. We're recording this podcast on Monday, so I'm sure there's going to be more information about this story by Wednesday when the full thing rolls out. But this morning I saw the news, Matt. I'm sure you saw similar news about Vince Zampella one of the most legendary creators in gaming history. If you had to say a top 3 list of the most influential people in gaming, Vince would probably be on most people's lists.
Without even knowing it.
Yeah, without even knowing it. He died in a car crash, I believe yesterday.
Yep.
And it is just it's kind of shaking. It's like it's industry shaking because you're like, this guy he is Call of Duty. Like, he basically co-founded the studio behind Call of Duty. He built many studios over the years. He's the guy behind Titanfall, behind Apex. He at least oversaw the Star Wars Knights of the Fallen Order games.
Star Wars Jedi Survivor stuff.
Jedi Survivor. That's it. I
Yeah.
get them all
Yep.
mixed up.
It's all right. There's a lot.
And then most recently was studio head for the Battlefield games, and we saw him back in, I think, August or something like that.
At the Battle 6 event.
Yeah, we saw him in person reveal the
Yeah.
game to us.
Yeah.
And it was kind of exciting. And I was like, all giddy, like,
It's Vince Zampella. Yeah.
Vince is here. Vince is going to show us the game. And
Yeah.
just to think that, like, not even a year later, the guy is no more. Really, really tragic news. He's a father as well. He leaves behind a family, and it's crazy to think, because we put these guys on these pedestals and we kind of forget that, like, everybody is just as mortal as everybody else, man. Like,
Yeah.
there's
it hit me pretty hard too, because it's like, as you said, we literally just saw him like a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, and he's just gone. Yeah. And it's not just the fact that he made incredible games. Like, he's a legend. He is an absolute legend. But as you said, yeah, he was a person, and it just sucks to have him be ripped away so quickly. And yeah, it's awful news.
Yeah. A lot of people who knew him closely are saying a lot of things about nice things about him, and what a genuine dude he was. And one of his main things that he tried to do as a job was shield the dev team from the kind of the executive oversight team, and
I can see that.
Be that barrier. Let the devs do their development and not worry about all the crap going on over their heads, and just focus on making a good game. I guess he was really well known for that, and trying to, and got, like, he started off as a programmer and then evolved into basically a studio builder, like somebody who puts together teams of amazing talent and then builds,
and as you said,
epic games.
Like, he didn't make, games are made by thousands of people.
Sure.
But the fact that you can't argue with his track record. He was a part of some of the biggest titles, first-person shooter titles of the last, literally, like, 2 decades.
Yeah.
And yeah. So big loss for gaming.
We've been playing shooters, for the past however many decades. And I mean, he is kind of like the grandfather of the modern day first person shooter,
Yeah. I mean, the original Modern Warfare straight up, like, revolutionized and changed the gaming industry, and everyone started to base all of those all FPS games around that game. So
yeah. And Battlefield for sure was influenced by his work as well. Even though we played mostly Battlefield for the past decade versus Call of Duty games, Battlefield was basically like, well, what if we could do Call of Duty on a bigger scale? I mean, that was
in a lot of ways. Yeah.
Yeah. Or Medal of Honor, which Vince, that's where he got his start was working on Medal of Honor games. Yeah. So, I mean, he was there from the inception of the FPS game. So it's crazy to think that he's gone now. Obviously the industry has been established thanks to his hard work, and we have many incredible studios producing great games, but without question, it's going to be a huge loss for gamers around the world. And I have no doubt that he had many more games in him,
Yes. It's tragic. It's tragic news. There's nothing to get around it. It just sucks. It really sucks.
Yeah. And I mean, Battlefield fans have to give the guy some credit. BF6 being one of the most successful Battlefield games of all time, I'm sure in no small part is due to his leadership.
Due to his influence. Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's crazy, but yeah, I don't know what else to say about it other than it just sucks. We're going to be lesser without him in the industry.
For sure. I agree.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about something fun. Let's talk about something that I've been enjoying. I've been enjoying the Arc Raiders wipe.
Oh, good.
It wiped today.
I haven't had a chance to play myself. I was gonna do some after this actually.
Cool. I only played a few rounds of it, but I've reset. I've got my new skin.
You did the expedition.
Did the expedition. Scrappy has got his little 6% bonus on there. You know, totally worth it.
Totally worth it.
Yeah, I'm really excited for the coming months of Arc Raiders. They have a new toxic. They've leaked the toxic wastelands.
They've leaked it?
Well, somebody's leaked what?
Oh, okay.
A new
I was like, is
map
this a
event.
reveal? Is this a
no? So the toxic wasteland is literally leaking into the other parts of the. No, it's There's a new map condition called Toxic Wasteland that's apparently coming out in January. And I'm just pumped for the whatever content they have coming. The Cold Snap stuff is cool. I really like Cold Snap. I think it's done well. Like for every game that does like a winter theme something, like Arc really knocked it out of the park here.
Yeah. It gives you a sense that it really is cold and
yeah,
it's great.
Yeah, it's not just a skin on the maps. It's like it fully changes how you play. People are bundled up together and you got to like figure out if they're hostile or friendly. And you're like, look, man, we can share this shelter or not, you know?
Yeah. I'm just here for some warmth. If you want to cuddle, you know, just say the word.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Yeah. I did want to get your take on this. Did we talk about aggression-based matchmaking too much about Arc yet?
Probably a little bit. Yeah. Why though?
So I've watched several videos testing the concept of aggression-based matchmaking. Now, obviously, this is anecdotal. We don't have the behind-the-scenes data on it, but I feel pretty confident in saying, and for the most part, I've seen people saying it's basically verified at this point that there is aggression-based matchmaking. There's a couple videos where I saw a guy like dedicate a whole day to testing this, to like getting himself pushed into different brackets, essentially passive brackets and then aggressive brackets. The difference in the player that you run into in terms of like how aggressive or how passive they are seems to be massive, and it's consistently testable and repeatable. It made me think. I was watching all of these kind of guide videos by this really good guide maker who's a nicer player. He's non-aggressive, but you know, he'll fight when he needs to, but he's never the aggressor. That's like his whole policy. Yeah. And like, I could never hit his earn rates or his XP rates from his guide videos. He's like, yeah, just go here and do this. And I'm like, gosh, you're just playing so freely. You're so out in the open. You're fighting Arc solo in like Bluegate. Like, who takes on a bombardier and Bluegate out in the open? Like you can do it, but it's, I mean,
I've done it.
Yeah, I have too, but it is tricky. And then he'll take it on and then take on like 10 more Arc and make it through the whole map and have these crazy XP earn rates. And I'm going, when I do that, I just get ganked. Somebody comes up and ganks me and whatnot. And I'm going, oh, this guy's probably in a different bracket when he's making these guides because he's a really passive, chill player. So I'm trying to follow this guide on how to get these earn rates. And I'm like, I have to sneak around and go slow. I hear footsteps coming. People are hunting me. I can't just run willy nilly like you're running through these maps, or engage Arc out in the open like a madman and just get like absolutely third partied by somebody. So what I noticed is when I was grinding for this expedition, because you got to make 5 mil, right, to get your 5 skill points, which I did get, I was playing super passively, right? Like friendly here. I'm just grabbing loot, man. Like I got nothing good on me. Let's just get out of here with our loot and whatnot. And I noticed my lobbies started to get super friendly. In fact, so friendly and so consistent to the point where I think I counted it. I was like at 20 matches with nobody taking a shot at me. Like,
wow.
At all. And I was not
Did you
avoiding people.
were you communicating?
Yeah. Yeah. That's communicating.
When you're aggressive, do you communicate?
So if I'm going to ambush somebody, generally no.
Yeah.
But I do communicate in aggressive lobbies if I'm not trying to, like, so I would go 50-50 when I would play before, which would be
Yeah.
like, I'll go aggressive. Maybe this round I'm going to be friendly and try and befriend people.
Yeah.
And I'll get a lot more people that would like either not say anything to me and then I'd be like, what's
Mhm.
up with you? And then they get closer and closer and then they shoot me and be like, all right. So like,
Right.
even though I'm trying to diffuse the situation or being like, hey, dude, I'm friendly, let's extract together or whatever, they would still try and get me. Or get people who would communicate and then stab you in the back. They'd be like, oh, yeah, I'm friendly. Sure. Just loot that box over there. And then I'm going to shoot you in the back as soon as you go for it. So that happened all the time. And even now, I broke out of my passive matchmaking bracket or whatever, and I started fighting people again. And now people are just sweatier and rattier and all that stuff. And
Uh-huh.
I'm just noticing now. I think I know. I think you were gonna mention something too. Is like, maybe not, but the grind for the expedition, I could have
Yep.
made people friendlier in general. That might have been a tagged on effect of this, but watching the videos of people intentionally pushing themselves between brackets based on their play style, um, just felt like, sure, it's anecdotal, but it was a night and day difference in terms of who they were running into. Um,
Uh-huh.
on top of that, the people who play more aggressively, they're the ones that get matched with cheaters, because cheaters don't go into like loot stuff. They go in to kill everybody. And so
Mhm.
if you're an aggressive player, your odds of running into cheaters are like, 10x somebody playing more passively, which is interesting. Now, again, none of this is like fully confirmed by data, but it's only because we don't have that data. We'll never have access to it.
Right. So the only I think there might be some validity to it,
Mm-hmm.
but some things that pop up in my mind is what time of the day did this person participate in this
Sure.
test? Was it the same time of day? Because if you're in peak hours, I feel like more people are probably going to be more aggressive during peak hours. There's just because your average person is, I think, more aggressive.
Yeah.
Um, and then if you're in off hours, like late at night or something like that, things might be just more chill. And the thing that I was trying to lead to is, well, if you're communicating, I feel like a lot of people will be less aggressive if you talk to them.
Yeah.
If
I agree with
you
that.
make your presence known and you say like, "Hey, don't shoot," it's like, "Oh, I wasn't like I didn't even know you were there." Or it's like, "Oh, they know I'm here. I don't have I don't have the drop on them." When you eliminate the surprise
Mm-hmm.
of like I feel like most people will then be a lot more chill.
Yeah.
So I think you being aggressive will obviously add more aggression because you kill someone, it brings more people over because they're like, oh, something's happening over here. I'm gonna go kill that person that just killed that other person, right? So
Yeah.
it feeds on itself. So it can give it a sense that things are more aggressive. But also, I think it's because if you try to go in more passively, then people will reciprocate because you're talking to them, and
Yeah.
it's really hard to test that. I
It's
think
extremely hard.
genuinely,
Well, let me
yeah,
give you another sort of anecdotal example.
yeah,
I was playing Bluegate in the really passive brackets and looting stuff, right? And trying to get a
right,
couple items here and there. I did not see like an entire flare go off in like 20 plus minutes of running around
hmm
the surface of Bluegate. I just matched back. I'm now in the sweatier brackets. I played a little this morning on Bluegate. There's flares going up all over the map. Like I can see people fighting each other.
So when you say you're in the sweaty, how much time are you putting into getting to the quote unquote sweaty brackets? Is this happening after a couple of rounds where like had
People
two or
are
three games,
so
or
this is the part where
because that's not
we're
usually
just
how
guessing.
matchmaking works.
So people are saying it takes about 4 rounds ish to maybe
Hmm.
switch your brackets, depending on
That seems really
potentially
fast,
depending on how much you're doing, right? So I played a
right?
couple rounds where And again, this was in the passive games, and it was almost comical because the people I was fighting, I would like run towards them and they didn't even look at me. That's how passive
Mhm.
it was. They're just like,
Mhm.
whatever. Like I'm not concerned whatsoever, you know?
Yeah.
So I dropped like 4 people, maybe 5 people a game. And I swear within a couple of rounds, I was already starting to get guys that were shooting on sight very quickly. So
Yeah.
it does feel like it switches over pretty quick. That's where like sort of the science side of it is all up in the air. People are estimating 4-ish rounds or something like that to
Mhm.
switch between brackets depending on how aggressive or how passive you play.
Okay.
Yeah, but so one of the things I wanted to get to was
Do you see where I'm coming from though with like, why it's like
totally.
it's possible. It's definitely, and there might be some truth to it. And it very well may be exactly how it works, but
Yeah.
it's so challenging to actually dial in like how like what are there brackets? Is it actually a
Right, right.
scale? Is it one or not,
We don't know exactly how it works. And I'm sure there's a billion different layers to how it actually works. So it's not just
Yeah.
one simple mechanic. And I do appreciate you playing devil's advocate here because I'm sure there's a lot of little caveats to this system. Um,
Yeah.
I'll just say that having played passively for like 3-4 days to grind this up, um,
Felt like a different game.
the difference felt massive. I'm
Yeah.
very much convinced that I was in a different bracket.
That's fair.
And then when I intentionally like went aggressive, the whole game changed again. And I was like, whoa. So I actually think that this system is fine in the sense that I don't mind passive players getting to get matched with a lot of other passive players. My issue with it is that the XP and earn rate for passive playing is so much better than
Because you can
aggressive
actually take an
playing.
arc.
You can kill arc, you can loot to your heart's content, you can loot faster, you can loot more carefree, you can sprint across the map to get wherever you need to go. You don't have to
Hmm.
crawl through the back alleys and try and avoid people or whatever. You don't get involved in these long drawn out firefights and then like ultimately not get that much loot off of it. I've seen the counter argument where
Super
people
fun
are
though.
yeah, well, I've seen the counter argument where people are like, you get all this loot from killing people, though. And it's like, yeah, but
Sometimes.
from my experience, the earn rate of just like running through buried city on your route or whatever, you can finish around with a nice 80k plus pretty consistently, not worrying about other players. And like you'd be lucky to
Yeah.
get that off of playing an aggressive round in that same period of time. It would be very, very inconsistent.
Yeah.
So my point is that the game has a really poor, and not poor, but it's not. It's high risk, low reward, and then low risk, high reward. They got it backwards right now for the way that they're doing the matchmaking bracket. And I think they need a way to incentivize the PvP side of the game more. We've talked about that lightly before, but now that I've seen what I feel are like very distinct matchmaking brackets,
Hmm.
it's so much more apparent how much quicker, like I'm tempted to actually reduce my bracket for the reset, the character reset, because of how quickly I could just farm everything I need to upgrade my benches and scrappy and all that stuff. I'm like, I could go at like 2 or 3x the speed by dropping down the brackets versus what I did the first time around, which was like play semi aggressive and do it that way. And then you're like, oh, I'm dying a lot and I'm not getting all the resources I need, and progression's taking quite a while, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
I think you're right in some ways.
mhm.
I do think there needs to be more of an incentive to fight over stuff, but I think that's where, in my opinion, kind of gets to the heart of it. I think there needs to be spots on the map that are maybe a little bit spicier because there kind of is. Like you got the high loot areas,
Yeah.
but let's be honest, some of them can be pretty hit or miss. The the probably the best example that I can think of is on Celamontis. You have
Mhm.
the medic room and you have the assembly room.
Yeah.
And that's where people make money. That's where
Yeah.
you can come in there and you can
Yep.
make 100,000 instantly, right? And where's all the PvP on those maps? Or on that map specifically? Around those two rooms,
Yeah.
around those two areas. Because I think people are like, no, I want the loot here. I'm going to fight over the loot, right? So I think having one thing I would love to see is better keys and having the key loot be more valuable. So how people like will go to those locations try to scavenge up everything and then leave with some really awesome stuff. And then you could have people not necessarily camp, but be like, hey, I wonder if anyone's here. You know, the door is open. Let's try to ambush them because we know there's going to be some really great loot up there. I would like to see some areas, some better areas around the map, other than Stella Montes, because I think that's probably the best one right now when it comes to high priority loot. Yeah, I think that would help a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I'll say when I was in what felt like the passive matchmaking bracket, Stella Montes was like, you run into the room, there's 5 other dudes in there, and you're all just looting. And that's just how it goes down. Nobody fights each other.
That's wild. That's wild.
Yeah. So like what I'm saying is the earn rate was absolutely ridiculous and so much faster and easier. So I think that what they would actually need to do is either bump up the XP and rewards for killing another player, because right now it's really low. Like you can quite literally kill some arc or loot some enough containers, and you're like, yeah, that's the equivalent of killing somebody in a firefight. Or if you're in higher brackets, maybe like even show what bracket you're in or something like that, and maybe throw in higher loot drop rates or something to incentivize playing in these sweatier modes.
I don't know if it needs to go to that extreme. I think.
Well, I don't know. I'm throwing ideas out there to try and figure out a way to make high risk equal high reward, right? Mm-hmm. Because if you keep all the loot tables the same and all the XP the same, then people in the passive lobbies are always going to get higher reward. Like it's just how it works, you know?
Yeah, I guess in some ways, unless everything has been looted because people came in before you, and now you're out of loot.
Then you just extract and then come in and you.
Or you could kill other people and take their loot.
Yeah, but you don't get. Yeah, but I'm saying that's not going to happen in the passive lot. You kill those people and take their loot, then you get bumped up to the sweatier lobby, and now you're in the sweaty lobby, and that's what kind of player you are. So I'm saying the people who don't think like that, who are like, I could take that guy's loot, they will always be in the passive brackets. Like that's just how it's going to go.
Yeah. I hear you. I guess it also depends on what kind of game you want to experience though. Cause if there's no PvP, then it's kind of snooze. So
well, what I'm saying is I actually don't mind that matchmaking. I think it's fine. Cause some people really do want a more passive game. And it's like, if that's what they want, then that's fine. But I don't think they should be able to outscore and XP me if I want to play more risky. You know, like there should be an incentive, and I think Embark needs to come up with some ideas behind it. I'm not saying like you got to change the loot table or something, but I'm saying that they should think of something.
I'm saying there needs to be some more locations with spicier loot that people fight over on the regular.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Or maybe it's tricky.
They have done a couple events where. Like the tower on Spaceport, you get that one, and it is a bloodbath in the center of the map, right?
I would imagine though, like Matt, that I don't know how you play, but I would imagine you've probably never been in the full passive bracket before, right? Maybe, but
I don't know.
Since you stream, you got to entertain your viewers, right? So you can't just do these loot rounds endlessly, right? So you're probably trying to engage in firefights semi-regularly, would be my guess.
Yeah.
So you've probably never been bumped down in those passive brackets. You could do it as an experiment and just see what it feels like, and you'd be like, "Oh my god!" Like,
well, I would say that solo is more just friendly in general.
Yeah.
Just right off the rip, most people are more prone to be nice in that bracket.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Compared to duos and trios, like where it's shoot on
sight.
Night
and day.
Yeah.
It's night and day.
Anyway, it's interesting. I'm still loving Arc Raiders. It's fine. It's
a fun game.
Pumped to progress through stuff. People thought that it was going to save your workbenches. It didn't save the workbenches.
Yeah, I saw some people complain. It's like, it's you're wiping. You know, congratulations. Like, this is the whole point of the wipe, right? So yeah, I think they probably could have communicated that better. But at the same time, is it really that big of a deal? Like, would you not have wiped if
no,
you didn't,
it wouldn't have changed my mind. But
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, so
I'm excited about the higher blueprint drop rate though, man.
Yes.
Building that back up is going to be, I bet I could get double.
It's not as good as it used to be for like that 2-day, but it was way too high for that. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. But and they fixed it before the character reset, so that was
Of
good.
course.
Otherwise, somebody could have had half their blueprints in like a day or two. Just
Yeah. Yeah.
absolute insane drop
I
rate.
know some people express frustration because they're like, I'm a dad, I don't have a lot of time to play, and it feels like they just added this and then removed it, and
Mhm.
wasn't able to take advantage of it. And it's like, I hear what you're saying, but I don't think you would have liked the system if every like raid you came away with like potentially 3 blueprints, because then it's gonna make blueprints just feel worthless.
Yeah.
Because eventually you're gonna get all of them, and then it's not gonna feel as special when you finally do get the blueprint that you want, right? It's gonna just be like,
I
oh, I
would
got
like.
another one.
I do think they should let us save like 2 to 4 blueprints on a reset, though.
Per
That would
wipe.
be
I
nice.
agree. That would actually be kind of
Yeah.
nice if you could kind of pick and choose.
Yeah.
I don't disagree.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm loving it. It's a lot of fun, man. It's still
Mhm.
like my game of the year. Did you speaking of game of the years, the game award show is sort of the big one, but there's a lot of
Yeah.
other game award shows, and there's one for indie devs. I think it's called like the Indie Award Show, or the Indie Game Awards, I think is what it's called.
Uh-huh.
They gave Claire Obscure their Game of the Year award.
And then they ripped it away.
And then they took it away because one of their requirements for submitting a game to their game award show is that it cannot use generative AI tools. And
Yeah.
Claire Obscure had to say that they use generative AI tools because they did during the development process.
Yeah.
Now, the game did not ship with generative AI content in it, but what's becoming really common, and this is what Larian Studios, the developers behind Baldur's Gate 3 and the new Divinity game, have said, is that they also use these tools for prototyping, filling out blocks of text for quest trees, before they've built out the quest tree, or filling out like textures is what Claire Obscure said that they were doing. They were using it to generate textures, which they then later replaced, but it just helped them
Yeah.
visualize stuff quickly and efficiently, and then they actually had artists replace it. There's been a huge backlash to this, both for Larian and Claire Obscure, because
Larian got the brunt of it for sure.
Larian did, yeah. And I don't know, I'm kind of in the middle here, but there seems to be a like no AI whatsoever, even if it's all removed from the game before it ships.
Yeah.
To me, that feels okay, where they're using it more as like a development tool, as you would like use AI to learn how to do something. That's something I do all the time, right? I go like, hey, ChatGPT, how do I do this in Unreal Engine?
I don't
And
think
then,
people would have an issue with that. I think most people wouldn't have an issue with that.
yeah, but developing like placeholder assets where you're like, well, I could put a box in the game that says placeholder asset, but it would be nicer if I could put something that kind of looks like the asset, just so I can better visualize what I'm building until we replace it.
See if it looks good.
Yeah. And that's what a lot of these guys are using the AI for. But there seems to be a really big backlash against that too. I've been following debates where people are arguing vehemently on both sides of this, and it's interesting. I'd be curious to know where you stand on it.
Well, as you said, it's very complex, and
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here like I know what game developers are doing with generative AI. As you said, it's for a host of things to learn how things work with just asking, ChatGPT or whatever, how do I do this in the engine, right? Like that's an incredibly valuable tool that I know a lot of people take advantage of, because instead of that, you'd have to look through like manuals and it's really tedious, right? So that's
Yeah.
but that's not really, what I think people are upset about. It's that the idea that you're going to be using AI to do like storyboards and mood and concept art, so that your concept artists can see that and be like, okay, let's do something along those lines. And people are worried that that's going to taint the future product if like the base thing that you're working off of is generative AI, something that was what a lot of people consider to be stolen. And in a lot of ways, they're right,
Yeah.
right? So where do I stand on the entire thing? I don't know, because I don't really know how it's being used. I don't want Gen AI to be taking away jobs from from a concept artist, right? Like concept
Yeah.
artist is a profession, and it's a really important part of getting the mood and the style of a game to where you have the finished product. Without that, your animators, your graphic designers and everything like that don't have something to base their work off of.
It'll feel more. It creates the soul. A good concept
Right.
artist can create a game that feels. It's like Elden Ring, you know, like that game has
Right.
got some style. You're like, whoa,
Yeah.
these guys are thinking outside the box. It's not something that generative AI would ever come up with, unless you now tell it to make something that looks like Elden Ring, right?
Right. Which
Yeah.
needed to have something that it was based off of. And so I know a lot of people are they're in the category where they're like, this is the future and we need to accept it. And just because people were horse riders and that, back in the day,
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean that they should have a job when cars are around, right? When the car industry first got started, it completely decimated the horse industry in terms of carriage rides and stuff like that. It's like, so this technology should just keep pushing things forward. And, it sucks that there's going to be losses and it sucks that people are going to lose their job, but that's just technology. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, true. But I have a couple of issues with that. First of all, AI wouldn't exist without that human interaction. It would not exist without that human input, where if you don't have anything to base it off of, it wouldn't be able
Mm-hmm.
to create anything for you, right?
Yeah.
So it needs those people, it needs those artists to be able to make anything. And if it just starts referencing itself, it's going to cannibalize itself, and where are we then, right?
Yeah.
Also, I want to push back because while just to say, yeah, it might be inevitable and we might eventually land on something where everyone's using Gen AI in their games, I think public discourse does impact the direction of an industry and a technology.
Mm-hmm.
Good example is in the gaming industry with microtransactions. Battlefront 2 came out and they tried to push loot boxes really hard. It was a big thing, right? That
Yeah.
game became the catalyst, became the cornerstone of people rallying against this kind of aggressive microtransactions. And lo
Yeah.
and behold, there was literally like legislation in a lot of
Yeah.
parts of the world stopping loot boxes and that kind of stuff. And then people are like, this isn't worth it anymore. Like there's too much baggage around this. And we saw a drift away from that kind of monetization. To
Well,
say
I
like,
would say that legislation was the primary tool used to stave off loot boxes, because if there was no legal ramifications, there would have
right.
been some social discourse around it, but probably
But I
not
don't,
enough for big studios to be like, no, we'll never do loot boxes again.
potentially, but that legislation I don't think would have gone anywhere if there wasn't an outcry around it, right? If there wasn't this
Right.
big, if like
So do you think they
legislation,
could legislate, they will legislate against using generative AI?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Potentially, I'm not a prophet over here. I'm just saying. I
Yeah.
think public discourse. I mean, it depends on how. If we want to get into politics, it depends on how you view politicians. Some of them view it as I'm going to do the will of the people. Some people think that I am a representative, but I will take my best judgment and I'll just ignore what the public thinks, right? But
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, in a democracy, people in that position are going to listen to people, and they're going to want to protect, some of them want to protect those people in their interests.
Yeah.
So if a lot of people are saying we need to do something about this, that's how legislation happens, right? Like it
Sure.
does happen from the ground up sometimes. It
Yeah.
is a thing. So with that in mind, it was just trying to give an example of public discourse can influence an
Mm-hmm.
industry, and it did happen within our own with gaming with microtransactions.
Yeah.
That was the point I was trying to make. So just to say that this is inevitable, I think ignores that fact.
Yeah.
That was the point I was trying to make.
That's a good point. A totally good point. And there is a huge amount of discourse and discussion around this. And I've seen a lot of artists actually saying like, hey, my job has actually improved a lot from using these tools and stuff like that. I can get more work done. I'm taking more clients, that kind of stuff. But the stories change entirely depending on who you talk to and all that kind of stuff. It feels like there's more momentum behind AI to like make AI a thing, where I feel like some public discourse about it is not going to put a halt on it, on top of which you've got every country in the world progressing towards this technology. So if we go, nah, we're not going to allow that tool over here, and then you go, okay, well, all these other markets are just going to produce that content with those tools instead. Now you have to say, well, then we're not going to buy your products that use those tools, and it's like, it just gets really complicated. It feels like, while we say that it's not inevitable, I have a hard time imagining it not being inevitable. Like, it feels like we're so far down the path of wanting this technology, or people wanting it or using it, that trying to go back at this point would require a huge amount of complex regulation that would potentially just put whichever countries regulated it way behind in the tech curve compared to other countries. So I have a very hard time imagining a realistic scenario in which we can stop this. But yeah.
So when I was trying to make that comparison to loot boxes, I'm not saying that I think that Gen AI and AI is going to disappear based off of some legislation. I'm saying it's going to be how it's used in making these games. So it's not like an all or nothing kind of thing, because we still have microtransactions in video games. It's not like microtransactions just didn't, but it was just the way it was used. Right. And that was kind of the point I was trying to get to, is I don't think it's just going to disappear and we'll be like, well, no more AI because people were upset. Like, I don't see that happening. I think that's being naive, but, and I can't predict how the future is going to unfold, but yes, we'll see. I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah, nor do I. But it is interesting, and it's interesting that the award shows and stuff are giving a lot of pushback against it. Although the pushback seems to be strong this year, and a lot of studios managed to fly under the radar with their Gen AI usage potentially last year or whatever. But now information
it's becoming a lot more mainstream to talk about it. I think it's because most people just didn't realize how it was being used, and now it's becoming more in the minds of gamers and people everywhere.
Yeah, I do wonder if the Game Awards is going to have studios disclose whether or not they use it, because the indie game awards does make them do that. So we'll see. I think there's too much money behind the Game Awards for Jeff Keighley or whoever to be like, yeah, disclose whether or not you use AI, and then Tencent's like, cool, we're gonna pull $20 million of ad rev from the show, and they'll be like, just kidding, you don't have to disclose whether or not you used AI. But I don't know, that's the pessimist in me.
A little cynical, but I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, it is a little cynical, but once there's a lot of money involved in these shows, they become a different beast, right? When you hear about the ad dollars being spent to promote games during the Game Awards show, you're like, oh, okay, this is a massive business model now. This isn't just about showcasing games. Or it is, but making money while showcasing games. The other fun, it's crazy how many stories are adjacent to AI, but the memory story has been going on for a while about memory shortages when it comes to buying RAM for your computer, or for consoles, or for making video cards for gaming. Those are going to become in shorter and shorter supply over the next few years, because industries around the world are pushing their tech towards AI farms and not towards gaming, because it's just far more profitable to support the AI industry at the moment. And then they can just kind of circle back around to gaming whenever that becomes more profitable, right? But the latest side of this story is, one, Nvidia announced that they were going to have they're going to drop GPU production by 40% next year or over the coming years. And you're like, okay, we've already gone through the video card shortage problem.
Yeah, great.
And they're 40% less, which inevitably is going to lead to price hikes. On top of this, it's going to start impacting consoles extremely soon. They're anticipating consoles to get a price hike, which we've already gotten this year, I think a couple of times. There's at least, maybe it was one last year and one this year. I can't remember the specific dates, but the cost of consoles has been going up, and now they're like, well, memory is going up too, and it's going up by a lot. And so if you want memory in your console, we gotta hike the price, guys. And so
I wonder if I wonder if there's going to be more competition in this space. Like, if this is truly the future, where's the competition for Nvidia? We have AMD, obviously,
yeah,
but like, it can't just be one company that is producing and supplying all of these. That, like, does anyone see this as maybe slightly problematic?
yeah, you
At
would
all?
hope not. I think a little bit of it is that they developed a chip that they have a patent on. They were the
Mm-hmm.
first to the market with this chip. It was an extremely expensive product to invent and develop. And they did it before they even knew AI was a thing. It's the CUDA
Right.
cores, right? And remember when CUDA first came out on the GTX chips, and there wasn't really a lot of applications for it, and Nvidia was like really trying to market the shit out of it. And I listened to Jensen, I forgot his last name, Huang maybe, or the CEO of
The
Nvidia,
CEO, yeah, I know who you're talking about.
talking about it. And he said their stock dropped massively after they came out with the CUDA cores because the cards became so much more expensive to build, and it was like a huge gamble. So they invested all this money and stuff building these chips, and then only later were people like, whoa, AI capabilities on this are incredible. We can do all this new stuff
Yeah.
because of these chips. And so they were way ahead of the game on that. They basically have a monopoly on the market in the sense that nobody else is even catching up to them. I believe other companies are trying to, but they're out of the gate so early on this one that it's like,
Oh
all
yeah,
right,
100%.
they
Yeah.
got a five plus year head start on anybody. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be a while. Plus they're
But
pumping
you
that
see what
money.
I mean, right? It's like, if this is the future and everything is relying on these products, you would hope that there would be more of a reason for other companies or something else to come
Yeah,
in and be like, yeah, let's capitalize on this. You know, maybe we're gonna make the cream of the crop, but at least we'll have an alternative so that it's not all just in one basket
yeah.
or two baskets.
I think there's also a finite amount of resources per year, like silicon, literal silicon that they can
Hmm.
invest in chips and all that stuff. Where they go, okay, well, like we got to pick and choose where this stuff goes, and it goes to
Mm.
the highest bidder ultimately. So if the highest bidder is AI chips, and they're like, sorry, gaming just ain't footing the bill
Ain't cutting
anymore.
it. Sorry, gamers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, don't quote me on that. I don't know exactly how all of that works, but I heard at one point in time that like the silicon and the rare earth metals used to make all the chipset wafers and stuff, like some of that
Yeah.
was like literally getting bought in sort of auction styles where it's like, yeah, make your offer and it goes to the highest bidder kind of thing. So
Yeah, I believe you.
if that's the situation with RAM, then it totally makes sense. Because you're right. You know, if Nvidia wants to go after the AI market and these other companies do, then like somebody could step in and start making consumer RAM at
Because
affordable prices.
there's clearly an interest in this, right? There's
Yeah,
a lot of gamers out there that want and desire graphics cards.
yeah.
It's
I wonder if it'll push new tech like cheaper ways to make memory with different materials or something. You never know.
yeah,
Some
yeah.
other stuff might come out of this, but in the short term,
In the meantime,
we are
this is gonna
screwed.
suck.
We
Yeah,
are
this
so
is
screwed.
really gonna suck.
Hold on to your computers, guys. Take good care of them. Make those
Yeah.
GPUs and those RAM chips
Whisper
last.
sweet nothings into their ears and let them know
Yeah,
you care.
yeah. Wax your PlayStation 5s. Keep them in good condition because you ain't getting that PS6 anytime soon, man.
Yeah, if we're not getting that anytime soon now.
Yeah. So, I don't know, man. It's wild. We're on like this crazy tech precipice, and it's so there's so much momentum behind AI. Like on an economic level, I don't think people understand how it's literally changed supply lines of the entire world to
Yep.
produce AI data centers and infrastructure and all that stuff. And ramifications are we're starting to see them, but they're going to get crazier. But yeah, it's crazy because gaming has always been such an economic powerhouse. It's where so much money has gone, and it's led tech development. Literally, AI chips are built because of gaming. They thought they could use
Yeah,
it specifically for gaming, which they do use it for
they
gaming.
do.
But that was the main driving factor behind this technology. So gaming has been one of the biggest economic drivers And now it's taking a backseat to AI, and gamers are like, wait, what? What's going on? What do you mean I can't get my RAM?
Yeah.
I will say, dude, back in the day when I was buying beige computers and building my own stuff,
RAM was dirt cheap.
No. RAM was expensive AF.
You're talking way back in the day. Okay, because
Yeah.
at one point RAM was the cheapest. Like it was dirt
Yeah.
cheap at one point.
Yeah, no. In the early days when the market demand wasn't huge, the cost of
Mhm.
RAM was just
Okay, that's fair.
stupidly high.
Because there was, unless I'm just misremembering entirely, there was a time when it was just
No,
like the cheapest part.
We've been living in the golden age of cheap computer components for quite a while. And
Yeah.
now they're like, yeah, it's going to go up not because we can't produce it easily, but because it's more cost effective to make other stuff now.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, fine, we'll make some gaming chips. And those prices, those are going to come up, man. What, your GPUs and your RAM and everything. Yeah. Fun times, but yeah, just
Fun times ahead.
Keep your hardware in good condition, guys. That's what I'm going to say, because you might need to make it last a while. Dust out get those compressed air cans and open up the side of that PC case and dust it out so it doesn't get too hot. That'll extend the lifetime of your components. So, what you been playing, Matt?
Well, I tried out Splitgate again.
Yeah,
for all those people that are excited,
the
second launch, yeah, it happened, and game is a ton of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Game's great. No one cares.
Yeah,
just like zero interest. It's a really fun, like shooting feels fantastic. Like you get those, it feels a lot like Halo, right? And the rhythm, and when you're lining it up and you get 4 just like DMR shots into someone, they drop, like it just feels great.
Mm-hmm.
You get a good flank on with someone with a portal, like. It's a fun game, but man, no one gives a damn about it at all. I looked at the Steam numbers, and it could be because people don't know that it relaunched. It could be a host of reasons, but it's not doing great in terms of player numbers.
I heard that it was relaunching, but honestly, I didn't see a lot of marketing promotional stuff around it. So
it's sitting at 1,000 people, which is not great for a relaunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it still have their like Royale or extraction mode?
No, I heard that's me coming in like a month.
Okay.
According to the devs, there was a dev that showed up and like, hey, thanks for playing our game. I was like, hey, thanks for making it. It's I'm having a good time, but unfortunately, it just doesn't seem like there's much interest in it. It's just they added in like old classic maps from classic. It's from the first game, right?
Sure,
so it's not like it's classic maps, but they brought in some like the old maps. It looks gorgeous. It looks fantastic in the engine that they're using. I think it's Unreal, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
It just looks beautiful. It's a well-made game. I had good frame rate, and yes, it's an arena shooter.
Yeah.
But it doesn't capture the interest, I guess, of many people, unfortunately.
It's I feel bad for the arena shooter because that's where I got into shooters was Unreal Tournament, Quake 3 Arena. Those were like the apex arena shit. That was the big battle of games. We got Battlefield and Call of Duty now. Back in the day, it was Unreal Tournament and Quake 3 Arena, and they were fighting it out to see who was the biggest arena shooter on the planet. And like, that's what everybody was playing. Instagib, low grav, crazy mods, all this stuff. It was fun. And I have a very warm place in my heart for those games because I've gone to so many LAN parties playing them, and they're great. I love movement shooters, but when Counter-Strike came out, man, the arena shooter like died in a year practically. It was struggling, and then nobody cared anymore. And Counter-Strike and the tactical shooter took over, and Halo's been
hasn't really stopped.
Yeah, it hasn't really stopped. I would say Halo is like the closest modernization of what the arena shooter kind of turned into, because Halo's very movementy and jumping around and stuff. But even Halo was free to play multiplayer is kind of on life support, right? They just announced that they were stopping all support for the game.
For Halo Infinite,
yeah. I mean, they're working on the next Halo game, but like, they canceled it. Halo Infinite was supposed to be this much bigger thing, and it just didn't materialize. So yeah, and Splitgate, the first one, saw this massive success for like a week. It was
a
like
little longer than that, but yeah.
maybe a little bit longer, but it was one of the craziest like flash in a pan successes ever, where everybody was talking about it for a week and then nobody was talking about it. And it's because it was a cool new idea, but ultimately at its core, it was an arena shooter, and arena shooters just can't compete in today's market. I fear, maybe somebody will prove me wrong. I would say the finals borrows a lot of arena shooter elements too, but they do it in sort of a smarter, more tactical way. And the finals is like a hybrid, right? It's like tactical shooter meets arena shooter with all these fun, crazy mechanics. And they managed to carve out their own niche, but even the finals isn't like, it's not
doing that. Like, well, I mean, it's doing okay, but it's not.
It's got its audience, yeah, but it's not like
mainstream.
a mega hit. It's not like Arc Raiders right now, which I would call a mega hit. And their Arc Raiders is maintaining, dude. It's got like 400,000 concurrents right now, and you're like, this game is not tiny, dude. It's not like just pittering out. It's doing fine.
It has 343,000 people playing.
Yeah,
that's nuts.
I know.
That's crazy.
It's almost 2 months after launch.
It's just a wipe. It's not. They didn't add any new content with the wipe. There's no like new enemies. It's literally just all right. Go start over again. And people are like, hell yeah, baby.
Yeah, I can't wait to start over. Wait.
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't think it'd do that well. Man, I hope they got something planned, because there's clearly an appetite more for that game.
Well, I just want to
clarify for Splitgate. Splitgate 1, July of 2021, it had 45,000 concurrent. August, it peaked at 67, and then September, it was at 34,000 for player base. So it was more than just a week. It was a couple of months. Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
So it wasn't that much of a flash in the pan, but I just wanted to clarify.
Okay. Fair enough. Thank you for getting the data on it, but I do remember it being extremely short.
It was short. It definitely was short. But I think that's why they made Splitgate 2, because they're like, this was a good proof of concept. I think it's just a couple of guys, and they're like, we can go to a company and we can be like, hey, look at just something here. And I think in some ways they were kind of right. Like, there was clearly an interest, but I think it was more the novelty of it all, right? Like, oh, it's Halo with portals. Like, that's super cool. And then people played that, and now they're like, I don't want to play more, potentially, because we're seeing it's not really doing so hot. But
I think they were onto something, in the sense that like, people liked the gameplay of Splitgate was cool and fun and new, but it was built around a very basic arena shooter concept initially, which is not a very engaging game mode anymore. So I think they had the right idea of like, how can we evolve this into like a more modern game mode that people like, and has, I don't know, progression stuff, but it just sounds like they didn't really adapt it properly or figure it out or do whatever they needed.
I think they realized that they needed to do something different. That's why they added the Battle Royale. They knew that they needed to have something, and unfortunately it didn't really work.
Yeah. Hey, tell me about Paladins, Matt. I want to know about Paladins.
So, Diablo 4, if you pre-order, Blizzard being Blizzard, they're like, oh, Path of Exile is having their big update. We might as well have one of our own, kind of. We're going to release the Paladin basically the same day that Path of Exile did their big, Druid update.
Yeah.
I haven't played Diablo since release, and I came in not playing the new expansion, so Vessel of Hatred. And so I played through that. Took me about 8 hours, but I'm also pretty slow. And man, Paladin's super fun. Like, I feel like they did a decent job of making you feel like an absolute Paladin badass. I don't know if it was just because I'm a Paladin nerd and I just love, I mean, I get they're like vanilla, right? Vanilla ice cream, but I just love the idea of, all the different facets of how you can play that class. That you can go, what's cool is there's like a zealot version, there's like a judicator version, there's like all these different ways of expressing that Paladin theme. And I think for the most part, they did a good job. I basically went full on like guardian angel, of light where I'm flying in from like I jump up and slam into the ground like some sort of
Nice.
celestial god. I put like auras on the ground of light, and the entire room illuminates in light, which is super cool. So if you're like in a dark, dank dungeon, you do really feel like you're this beacon of hope, right? Which is
Cool.
cool, right? Like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love it. I loved it. Gameplay wise, pretty basic. It's
Okay.
still Diablo. I think I prefer Path of Exile in a lot of ways. I found their like bosses to be more engaging. Like it actually
Sure.
feels like a boss. In Diablo, I feel like I'm just kind of hitting something until it dies and
Yeah.
dodging maybe every once in a while, right? Like there's not like a ton of thought. Nothing like the boss, like that first boss in Act 1
Mm-hmm.
of Path of Exile 2. You probably know what I'm talking about.
Sure. Yeah. You
Goated, right?
die the
So
first
good.
like 3 or 4 times and you're like, oh,
Yeah,
I gotta
yeah.
figure out how to fight this thing, man.
It's a bit of a wall. The story for Vessel of Hatred, I realize I'm very late on this, was fine.
Yeah.
Basically justifying killing things, and it progresses the story from the end of the base game. Relatively short. Looking forward to Lord of Hatred, I think is the next one,
Mm.
which comes out in April.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's a little bit more advanced with its storytelling. It was okay. I had fun with it. All in
Yeah.
all, I'm glad I did it. I don't know if I'll be going back and playing like endlessly to get
Yeah.
to end game, but yeah, I at least had fun.
I had to cut myself off from Path of
Path of
Exile 2
Exile.
for a while because it
Yeah.
was eating up my time. I'm like, I could play this forever.
Yeah.
And part of me
Yeah.
was like, play it forever, dude. Just play it forever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have a sweet spot in my heart for action RPGs. Love them all. Seen all this Diablo content come out. Also, I'm just like, I want to play it. I want to do all this stuff.
It's a gorgeous game.
Yeah.
It's definitely the more casual version of the two.
Yeah.
It's the more accessible. Where Path of
Yeah.
Exile is like, hey, do whatever you want with this skill tree, and it can be overwhelming. You're like, I don't know
Yeah.
where to go, what to do, and then Diablo is like, oh, you want to play a zealot paladin? Well, then pick the zealot skills. If you want to play more of a judicator, then go that route. Like it's a lot less complicated.
I appreciate Diablo's accessibility, and I appreciate Path of Exile's depth. I have issues with both systems, but my main issue with Path of Exile is like you almost need to watch a strategy guide when building your character.
Yeah.
Because there's literally hundreds of skills. Literally. Yeah. So you're just
it gets wild.
I don't know. I don't know how these multipliers work. I need a graphing calculator to tell me what the right build is. And then I try to get back into Path of Exile 2 after an update that did a major overhaul on like all the characters. And I just couldn't get a build working again for my sorceress that like worked. So I was like, I'm gonna have to spend hours trying to rebuild this sorceress to be effective again. And she was like really high level, and I just kind of got into it. Couldn't quite get into like playing again. I couldn't get into a good rhythm because my builds just sucked. And I was like, oh, this game is so complicated that I literally need to spend hours rebuilding this class.
It can be a big commitment.
Yeah, where I know that would not be as hard in Diablo. You could still jump in and have some fun and then kind of tweak it as you go along.
They literally have difficulties. They have their whole difficulty system. So if you want to be baby mode and just go through the story, you can do that. If you want to challenge yourself, so it was. I think the Paladin's fun. I'm not going to speak on endgame. I'm not a massive ARPG guy, so I'm not going to speak on balance and build quality and stuff like that. But as a very casual experience, it was fun to go in and just slam a bunch of demons into the ground with my holy hammer. Right?
Yeah.
It was enjoyable, at least in the moment.
You know, it's a good casual action RPG that I still play sometimes with my son is Minecraft Dungeons.
I forgot about that game. Yeah.
Yeah. You can do split screen co-op
nice.
on the couch, and so that's what we do. And it's solid. It has all the good hits of what an action RPG has, and your build is like dirt simple because you're just like, I've got some weapons with cool mods on them, and that's like it. I don't even think it has a skill tree. Yeah, I think it's all just item based. So you just pick up cool items and you get better, and you're like, cool. And that's it.
Neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard good things about it.
It's solid. I like it. But I mean, obviously, if you're an adult, you're probably going to prefer Path of Exile.
Want something a little bit more complex.
Yeah, but with my kids, it's got all the right notes, man. It's fantastic.
Nice.
Yeah. You watch any good movies?
No, not really. No, I finished off Orconomics Book 2, which was great.
Such a dorky name.
It is a dorky name. Yeah. Orconomics.
What you reading? Orconomics.
Orconomics. It kind of baits you into thinking like it's going to be very, and it is. There is like an economy-based fantasy game, not game, but book. But at the end of the day, it becomes more of a traditional heroes versus an entity kind of a thing, right?
It's not about orcs balancing spreadsheets.
It is in some ways, but no. It becomes like a kind of more of a traditional, a fantasy adventure. So it was fun. I like the characters. It was decent. There's a book 3, which I'm not really sure why there's a book 3 because it kind of ends and wraps up almost every single loose end by book 2. I'm like, okay, where's this going now for book 3? But yeah, it's fun. It's lighthearted, and yeah, I've enjoyed it.
Now, is it better than Tusk Love or not as good?
I haven't read Tusk Love, but you might have to weigh in on that one.
I'm gonna get you to read that someday, Matt.
It would be my first smut book. I've never read something like that before.
Well, first time for everything. I saw a movie that I really enjoyed that is like, it's just a good popcorn movie. It's the remake of The Running Man with
with that one guy that seems
Glenn
to be in
Powell.
everything these days. Yeah.
Glenn Powell's having his little time in the spotlight right now.
Yeah, he really is.
Yeah. He's been building. I like him. I think he's a fun actor. And he's solid in a lot of stuff. But The Running Man, so it's a remake of that Schwarzenegger film from early 80s, I want to say.
Long time ago. I haven't even seen it.
It's one of those movies that it's pretty old now where it's like it's even tough to rewatch it. You kind of have to remember loving it, and then you're like, I remember this is crazy. But if you go in for a first watch, you'll be like, whew, this is an old one. But it's basically it was one of the first movies that I can remember that did okay, that's not true. They actually did a bunch of dystopian game show style movies back in the day where it's like, it's the future and the economy sucks and people are poor and starving. You want to get out? Sign up for this death game show. And if you win, you'll get $1 billion. I mean, but if you lose,
it's a very popular setting. Hunger Games, right?
Yes, yes. This was precursor to all that stuff. So it's not exactly the Hunger Games. It's a fun twist on it, but it's got the guy from Severance in it, the black guy from Severance.
He's fantastic.
He's fantastic, and he's the announcer, the show host for it, and he's just like such a good pick that you're just like, I love this guy. It's fantastic. So yeah, Glenn Powell signs up to be the Running Man, where you play in a game show where you just have to survive for 30 days while you get hunted by all these guys. And then also apparently the whole world is in on the game too. So people can report your location.
Literally anyone can report. Wow.
Yeah. So then like they'll get like cash for reporting you, and then they'll come and hunt you down or whatever. Or the public can hunt you down too. So they'll get like a cash prize if they hunt you. So he's just set off into the world.
It's such a messed up theme.
Yeah, it's messed up. It's really fun though. It's bad, but it's bad in a like, it's going to be bad. It's going to be fun. They've got some fun elements in there where they actually integrate some of the AI tech into it, where he has to like send in these tapes of himself every day to the show to be like, I'm still alive, suckers,
Right.
But if he says anything where he's like, the show's rigged, man, these guys are corrupt, this is what they're actually doing, they just change what he says with like their AI tech to say something horrible and make the audience hate him or something. So it's kind of funny where they're playing on that, where they can manipulate anything he says or does with AI tech.
Really God, this dystopian, holy.
Super dystopian.
Holy.
But yeah, awful. It's a fantastic action popcorn flick. I really liked it. It's not like an Academy Award type movie, but
Oh yeah, yeah.
it's just fun. Just fun.
You
Nonstop
know what's really
action.
depressing?
Yeah.
Is that man is the same age as me.
Yeah. There's some really funny scenes in it where like he's of course shirtless. You know, he's got a stupidly he's got like an 8-pack.
He's a very attractive man. He's over
Yeah.
here, you know, full head of hair, chiseled body, you know, and I'm over here like, just trying to make my guys. Let's keep it up. Let's keep up the good work.
I think you look good, Matt. I think you
Thank you.
You come in it from a different angle entirely. You know, you got that like confident, nerdy gamer vibe going. You know.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, all right.
Smooth.
That's
That's your
butter
angle.
me
I'm
up,
just
baby.
saying that's your angle.
It's
you know?
I just looked at his age and I was like, oh damn, I didn't realize we were the same, literally the same age. It feels like we're completely different people.
Don't compare yourself to Hollywood.
Yes,
royalty.
Yeah. Comparison is the thief of joy, right? Something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like him though. I just started watching his other show. Something Powers, Chad Powers, where he's
Chad Powers. Yeah.
We watched the first episode last night and I liked it.
It's not bad. I watched this first episode too. I need to finish it up. It was pretty good.
See where it goes. Also, you know, I want to thank Quentin Tarantino for publishing his top 20 movie list because it got me to watch School of Rock again, which is I think it's from like 2003.
It's an older movie.
Jack Black is super young in it.
Yeah.
But man, is it a good movie. It is such a good movie. And I totally forgot that was Richard Linklater who directed that. And he's like one of my favorite directors. I'm like, oh yeah, of course. Like, of course he directed this one.
All makes sense.
But yeah, we watched it with the kids, and they loved it. And they're all like, we're gonna be rock stars now. I'm like, okay, guys, go for it. So it was cool.
They forget about it next day, but yeah.
No, they're still, you know, it'll last about a week, I think. But
okay, all right,
yeah,
all right.
We'll give them a week, see if they turn into rock stars or not.
Nice.
Yeah, but so I really enjoyed that movie as well.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And so you're playing some more Ark tonight, is that right, Matt?
That's kind of the plan. Yeah.
I may have to jump on, maybe.
Oh,
get you into one of the sweatier bracket. I'm sure you're in a sweaty enough bracket as it is, but you know.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
because I do PvP. I do.
Mm-hmm.
Either that or Manor Lords. I've been playing a little bit of Manor Lords too.
How you liking Manor Lords?
It's fun. They had a big update recently. There's now like NPCs on the map with their own town being generated and stuff. I've had to relearn how everything works, and they've added in new systems and stuff, but it feels more fleshed out. It does feel like it's still developed by a very small team because it doesn't feel vastly different, but it was already good before. And it's just, you know, it's more Manor Lords. I've enjoyed it.
Cool. I downloaded a game because it was on sale, and I started playing through the tutorial before I ran out of time. But have you played Mechabellum?
Yep, Mechabellum's fantastic.
You like it?
Yeah, it's it's an auto battler, but
yeah,
it makes more sense because like a lot of auto like you have the League of Legends ones, like, well, this is Jinx and she's a range character, but I don't know what that means in the turn, you know. But in this is like, yeah, you've got tanks that are good at this, and it's like this is a ball that flies and you know it does good continuous damage. It's a lot easier to know the strengths and weaknesses of Mechabellum, while I feel like another auto battler like TFT is a lot more veiled in tomfoolery.
Yeah. I found it easy to get into, at least through the tutorial process, and I'm probably gonna jump into that at some point.
It's good. It's a good game.
I can't lie though, man. My heart is with Ark right now. I just keep thinking about Ark. I did play Battlefield a little bit over the break, but Battlefield is like one of those games where I can hop on with a friend or something, and we will talk about the game lightly. We'll be like, oh, a tank over there, oh, a guy over there. And then we'll mostly just talk about things completely unrelated to the game as we're playing the game, because it's kind of that game for me where I can kind of zone out. And I think that's what Battlefield's often been for me. It's like a game where I can just chill out, relax, and I almost am like not even thinking about the game as much as I'm playing it. It's just kind of like automatic, like, oh, run to B point. Oh, there's a tank, shoot the tank, shoot the guy, you know. Completely different vibe. still progressing those
It's a
progression
sandbox
trees.
chill FPS, like
Yeah.
it's always kind of been. You know, I know a lot of
Yeah.
people are like, oh, tactics. It's like, all right, all right.
I know, it's like Battlefield is the most frustrating when I take it seriously.
Uh-huh.
Because then you have to acknowledge the fact that it's just a game that's out of your control for the most part. You're like, come on, guys, and there's 32 guys on your team and they're not doing anything. So you're like, okay.
I try to play the objective. I try to win, but at the end of the day, I know I'm just one small influence on an entire match, and so I just recognize that and just try to have a good time.
Yeah, you push. I push through. Take 3 objectives from the enemy team. Like dropping squads left, right, and center. Every objective behind me that I just took was taken, and all the other objectives in the map are also taken. You're like, what? Is the team doing anything? Just hold a point, guys. Come on.
Yep.
Yeah. So I just try and play it chill. Our team gets blasted. Fine, whatever. Next round. Let's enjoy it.
Yeah.
But it's still fun, man. The gunplay in it is very satisfying. It's still got that satisfying Battlefield gunplay. Although I haven't gotten into sniping as much in BF6 as I have in past games. I don't know. I'm just not. Maybe it's just because engineer and support are such good classes, and like recon to me is just like if you want to be the sniper guy hanging in the background.
According to the stats, you're not alone, because it was around, I think each other class had like 28, 25%, and then sniper was down in the 10%, like 17% of players were playing recon. So you're not alone.
They took away the spawn beacon, so you're just like,
well, okay. I think the recon class has always been lower than the other 4 classes. And I'd like to see what the stats are for other Battlefield games. But yes, I do feel like that was a big component of the recon, and it's gone. And now I'm like, well, I don't really like sniping as much, so I don't see a reason to play this.
How was the assault class on that stat lineup?
It was right up there with all the others. It was pretty much
so people do play
between the 3. It was engineer, I think, was first, and then I can't remember what was second and third.
Probably,
but they were pretty close.
I would imagine support has got to be.
Yeah, I think it was support, and then assault was third.
Yeah. Well, it's classic Battlefield at this point, where BF3 had some of the worst class balance of all time, right? And we're like, that was the best game ever, and you're like, but not without its significant flaws. Yeah. Granted, you don't want a quarter of each team to be snipers, but having a quarter of each team playing recon to a different capacity, with SMGs and spawn beacons and whatever, that's not bad. It's cute.
I try to look up the stats, but I'm not finding it right off the rip. AI is saying something, but I don't believe it, because it says assault is first, and I don't believe that. But
I can't imagine that. I think
this is saying 32% for assault, support is 26, engineer is 23, and I'm almost positive engineer was at the top, but I may be misremembering.
I mean, I'm support and engineer. Like I almost see no reason to play the other classes unless I'm trying to complete an assignment or something. Got to get those sweet skin unlocks and whatever's.
Oh, here it is. Engineer 28, support 27, assault 26, recon 19.
Okay. That's actually not that bad of a spread, to be honest. But
yeah, that's, like I said, decent.
Not too bad.
Not too shabby.
Engineer for life, man. Engineer support. I actually really like the support's barricade. Like, I didn't realize I would be using it so much, but you can block like grenades and stuff with it too. It's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, it's potent. It can really be beneficial.
I use it,
but it doesn't feel hero-y, like you're putting down some sort of massive barricade thing, right?
Your character isn't yelling out like support barricade and then like something materializes in front of you. Motirum, use your ultimate barricade ability. Come on, Battlefield, make it a hero game. Come on, do it. I dare you.
Yep.
Yeah, we all want that again. That worked out real well the first time. Although, I mean, Sundance wingsuit. I had some good times with that, man. I had some.
I hated that goddamn class.
There was a really high skill curve to that class, though. You
I'm
could do
sure
some
there
insane
was.
crap.
I loathed her.
Yeah. There's nothing more annoying than you're like pushing up the front line and then Sundance lands behind you and just shoots 3 people in the back.
Yeah,
Like,
instant. She doesn't even slow down. Just on the ground. She's like in a ball and she's shooting you somehow. Like she's some sort of like, I don't know, devil. It's just terrible.
Yeah, no, it was a guilty pleasure of mine for a while, but yeah, I recognized that it was a problem. You're like, this is really fun as long as I acknowledge that it's ruining so many other people's days right now. And there's not a lot they can do about it because they're like, why would I check my back when I've just cleared the whole area? They're like, because Sundance is going to fly in behind you.
Out of nowhere.
And shoot you in the back with a freaking Chris Vector with a
What's that
drum
sound?
mag.
You just hear this caw as she just soars on by. And
yeah. I like future games and they never do as well, but I'm excited for the day that Battlefield does another future game. It'll be fun.
Yeah, would be cool.
Yeah, it'll be their worst selling game of the franchise, but I'm going to have fun with it for a little while.
Depends on how they do it.
All their future games have been the worst selling games of the franchise, so I'm just saying, historically, probably.
Historically speaking, you're probably right.
Yeah, people need their modern day. Like, I need my Abrams tank, my Little Bird helicopter. Is that in the game yet? I thought I saw something where no, it's not in. Okay.
No.
I think it's coming though. I think they mentioned it. They're going to put it in, which I know you're excited about, Matt. You're excited to get that Little Bird back in the game.
As long as it's not super like insanely fast, it'll be fine.
Yeah. I had a guy snipe me. I had a dude that I was just like, if this dude's not cheating, he's the best sniper in the world. But he sniped me out of an attack helicopter twice.
That's a little weird.
From like, it must have been like 3. It was such a long shot. It was so far where I'm like, the lead time you must have given yourself is bananas.
Once gamer, twice in a round. That's you're starting to step into a little sus territory then.
Yeah. I don't like feeling hacker accusations, but I was feeling them for a couple of games.
That's fair.
But yeah, anyway, been enjoying it. I'm pumped to jump in Ark and just level up my. You know what I will say about that skin you unlock, the new skin you get for doing a reset. There's like no options with it. It's either you have your headpiece on or you don't. And that's it.
I know some people were expressing some frustration because it's the same gear as you do for the tutorial. Yeah. And a lot of people were really wanting that, but the tutorial, you don't have like silly blue sleeves, and in this you do. And people are like, what gives? Just give us the tutorial one.
Yeah.
People are speculating it's because they want to add a splash of color so that people don't blend into the environment, but there are other ones that already kind of do blend into the environment. Yeah. So I don't know.
It's I'm really worried. I hope Embark doesn't do this because this would be really cheap of them. But if they make like the next reset skin just a color variant of this one, I'm going to be like, you cheap bastards, because it sort of feels
far,
like
though, they haven't really monetized as aggressively as I thought they would. I still think it's lame that you can't unlock. They did. Okay, let me reframe. I don't like that they launched the game $40 and then had a bunch of skins that were only available for purchase. I think that kind of sucks. It's like, well, you should have allowed us to unlock these, in my opinion, through progression when the game came out.
Yeah.
If you wanted to add some later on, then perfect, because it's a live service game. You're going to be adding more content. I understand that the game needs money to be able to sustain the servers. I totally get that. I'm okay with that. But at launch, not so much. But now they haven't added a battle pass yet. I'm assuming there's going to be their Raider decks that will be paid at some point, but that hasn't happened. They've been giving away a lot of free currency. So like for the most part, they haven't been aggressive.
They gave away 1,000 Raider tokens, which I think is like $10 equivalent,
like $10
or something.
Yeah. It doesn't cost them a thing to do that, but it's basically the equivalent of $10. Yeah.
I know. I saw this post where they're like, they gave away like $80 million in, you're like, they didn't give away 80, yeah, whatever.
It was like billion. It was like $1 billion.
Some crazy amount. But yeah, it's like they didn't give away anything, guys. They gave you some tokens in your account.
Right.
which probably incentivized you to be like, well, I only need 200 more to get the thing. So they probably made a lot of money by doing that. But
correct.
It was still a nice thing to do. And I thought it was cool. And it did get me to buy a new skin. Actually, I was like, I'll take that and I'm going to get a new skin with it. And now I got this cool new backpack and I'm just
looking fresh.
I'm looking fresh right now. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I hope they don't add colors onto the skin is like the next reset stuff. That would be really cheap.
I agree.
Yeah. And I also the what is it? The Raider challenges, what are they called? The ones that you do every week.
The trials?
Trials. The skins for the trials are terrible.
Garbage.
They're so bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
saw what the final one was. I was like, oh, never mind. I don't care at all anymore.
Yeah.
Like, not that I get top 100, but like it's so it's awful. I mean, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. It's all subjective, but not something I was going to go after because I was like, damn, I'm going to look so fresh in this outfit.
Sure. It's subjective, but also it's objectively the worst skin. And the next one also looks freaking terrible. Like it just looks kind of like the first one.
For this one round.
You're like, come on, guys, make it cool. Then we'll compete for it. But otherwise, I'm like, I'm not getting anything. Also, the backpack from that challenge, somebody posted a meme on Reddit where they're like, this is what I wear when I want to die because it's got a big bright light on the back of it. So you're like, if you're playing a night map, you're just like, come shoot me, guys. Or you're trying to hide in a bush.
There's been so many times where I've seen other players in the dark and all I see is this green thing bobbing up and down. I'm like, oh, what is that over there? A player?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a really easy fix to this. Dev Brain and me just says like, you can have materials and textures, especially in an Unreal Engine game, that fade out based on proximity. So you just say, hey, the emissive value of this, just fade it down as soon as players are within further than like 10 to 15 feet or something.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Then you don't have a big old
that way
beacon
you get to
on
enjoy
you.
the light.
Yeah.
That way you get to enjoy the little bobble, but it doesn't put you at a disadvantage to be using it. I hear what you're saying.
There you go, Arc. There you go, Embark. I just gave you the technical know-how on how to fix your problem there. Okay?
Easy.
Yeah. I'm good to wrap up the pod there, man.
Okay, sounds good.
We'll get into some Arc in a little bit. Yeah, I didn't mention the Patreon thing, but if you guys want to support us on Patreon, the Level With Me podcast, we have a link in the video description, and you get to watch us record live on Mondays, which we've got a couple people watching us live right now. And then after each podcast recording, we have a little chat, catch up on things going on, whether it's game related or life related or whatever we want to talk about. But you guys are welcome to join us in that chat as well. But regardless of whether or not you're a Patreon member, Matt is always going to leave you with some super useful advice every single week. Matt, take it away.
My advice this week is enjoy your holiday break. I don't really have any advice this week other than just, I hope you have a great break. You know, if you celebrate Christmas, whatever you're doing, I hope you have a great time.
I'll add on to that and make it a little more advicey, but take some time off, disconnect, unplug from your responsibilities if you can, Sometimes we say we can't, but I find a lot of time we can figure it out. We can figure out a way to unplug.
Good.
And
I feel like I've given that advice a lot, so I don't want to repeat myself. But, at this point, I've been doing... How long have we been doing this? Years?
Yeah.
There's going to be some repeats, I guess.
You're a Tony Robbins at this point,
Yeah, there you go. All that great knowledge, wisdom that I just come up with at the top of my head, definitely at the end of the stream.
And we're going to keep doing it forever.
Oh, baby. Oh, baby.
Well, everybody, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next Wednesday. Bye-bye.
Take care.